In the name of Allah, we open the video. Zakat is the required amount to be given from the wealth of Muslims to its deserving recipients, and it is applicable to wealth that reaches the specified threshold according to Islamic Sharia with precise rules and conditions. Zakat is a term that encompasses various meanings, including growth, increase, and purity, as it purifies the giver from sins. It is also referred to as charity, indicating the truthfulness of the Muslim in his worship and obedience to Allah. It also signifies blessing, praise, and righteousness. These linguistic meanings are represented in the Quranic verse, "Take charity from their wealth, O Prophet, to cleanse and purify them, and pray for them. Your prayer is a source of comfort for them. And Allah is all-hearing, all-knowing." Therefore, zakat purifies its giver from sins and greed, and blesses his wealth and reward. And conceptually, it is the specific amount that a Muslim is obligated to pay from his wealth that has reached the minimum threshold to deserving recipients and under certain conditions. The jurists have several definitions for zakat. Through examining the various definitions, we find that they all agree that zakat is the transfer of ownership of the wealth that has reached the minimum threshold, meaning that the wealth does not remain the property of its owner after being taken out of his possession, but rather becomes the property of the recipient of zakat, and the term, deserving of zakat, confirms the entitlement of the recipient to this wealth. The intended recipients are the 8 categories deserving of zakat as specified in the Holy Qur'an in the verse, "Alms, zakah, is only for the poor and the needy, those in charge of it, those whose hearts may be attracted to Islam, for freeing those in bondage, for those in debt, for the cause of Allah, and for the stranded traveler, as ordained by Allah, for Allah is all-knowing, all-wise." In order for zakat to be obligatory on a Muslim, specific conditions must be met, as detailed by the jurists. If these conditions are met, then it becomes obligatory for the Muslim to pay zakat. Puberty. So, zakat is not obligatory on a child, but it is obligatory on his wealth, and his guardian should pay it on his behalf. This is the view of the majority, in contrast to the Hanafi school. Sanity. Zakat is not obligatory on a mentally ill person, but it is obligatory on his wealth, and his guardian should pay it on his behalf. This is the view of the majority, in contrast to the Hanafi school. Islam. Zakat is not obligatory on a non-Muslim. When an apostate returns to Islam, zakat becomes obligatory on him at the time of his return according to the Maliki and Shafi'i schools, unlike the Hanafi and Hanbali schools which do not consider it obligatory, because Islam is a condition for the validity and obligation. Threshold of wealth. The threshold for gold is 20 mithqals, for silver it is 200 dirhams, and for crops and fruits it is 5 wasks, equivalent to 653 kilograms. The threshold for sheep starts from 40, for camels from 5, and for cows from 30. Freedom. Zakat is not obligatory on a slave or a debtor according to the consensus of the jurists, because they are not owners of the wealth. Independence in ownership, or absolute ownership, whether it is by original ownership or by possession, there is no zakat on the wealth that is available to the public, such as crops that grow in land that no one owns, and the ability to dispose of the wealth is also a condition, so there is no zakat on the master in the wealth of his employees, and no zakat on a person in the wealth of others, because he does not have the right to dispose of it. The growth of wealth that is subject to zakat or capable of growth, they are cash, gold and silver, and what takes their place in the form of banknotes, metals and minerals, trade goods, crops and fruits, and livestock. The absence of debt from wealth, it is a condition according to the Hanafis, except for crops and fruits, and the Maliki view this except for the 2 currencies, while the Hanbalis see it as applicable to all types of wealth, and the Shafi'is do not require this condition. Zakat does not fall due to debt in 2 cases, the first, the passing of a year and the presentation of wealth, and the second, that the wealth presented is what can be sold, such as clothes and the like. Excess beyond basic needs. Intention. It should be real or legal at the time of paying zakat, and it means sincerity, because it is one of the actions of the heart, so intention is required for it, as Allah says, "Although they were commanded only to worship Allah with sincere devotion to Him, being inclined to the true faith, and to establish prayer and give zakah, that is the true religion." This condition is agreed upon by the jurists, so if a Muslim pays zakat without intending it, it does not fall from him, and its place is the heart, as indicated by the hadith. Actions are judged by intentions. Intention was legislated to distinguish it from voluntary charity, contrary to the Hanafi and Imam al-Ausari, who see it as falling, because the obligation with it is to give without specification, so it is like debts. Ownership, so that it is directed to the deserving, and it is not permissible according to the Hanafi for the insane or the child to be given. For more religious instructions, please subscribe and activate the notifications button to reconnect with all our newcomers.